there was a study that says masturbation boosts your immune system and raises your white blood cell count, helping you fight off infection and illness. You know, do you think that's going to save us? Do you think if I jerk off every single day, multiple times, it's going to save me from the coronavirus?
Yeah. I don't see how it couldn't.
Like, did they just fly blind in the study and come up with something
Well,
totally nonsensical?
it depends on like who wrote it. I mean, is this like some guy who's just like, masturbating all the time, and then whatever's going on in the world, he just relates it to masturbation?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't look to see who the scientist was. I just saw that.
If these kids were like fucking masturbating more, there wouldn't be so many school shootings. He's probably written one of those or something.
Oh yeah, like some dude who just relates masturbation to everything.
Yeah, that
Like
pilot
nobody would crash cars if they were masturbating.
Going out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. You get it.
He just likes to rub one out a lot. That's
all he does. And then he's like,
really,
everything in the world revolves around, everything that happens has to do with me masturbating, which is relatable. I mean, I feel that way sometimes too, but
yeah. There's just, sometimes you just, there's just times where you just don't do it.
Yeah, I don't have those times. I don't know what those times are like.
Yeah.
I do it. Yeah. I mean, that's how I fall asleep at night, to be honest. It's nature's sleeping pill. When in doubt, rub one out. That's what I always say.
That's what happens. You take a nap or you fall asleep, and you
wake up like that dude from that
coronavirus.
What was the one? What was that town that got killed by the volcano? Is it Pompeii? Yes. You just wake up in the morning, you're like that dude from Pompeii, and it's just still in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without the volcano, you're not gonna. I'm not saying you die in a volcano. I'm just saying you wake up and you like. It's like a heroin addict that passes out with the needle still in it. You're just sitting there. You wake up, you're sitting there. It's still in your hand. Where were we? We were talking about serious stuff, real serious things. Like
yeah.
Real stuff. What do you think of the bailout they got going right now? Have you seen any details on it?
I know they're going to vote on it soon, I guess.
Right. I think this one's the one that's guaranteed. It's all pretty much pre-approved. They went through House and Senate, so Trump needs to sign it, I guess. But it's amazing how it's a $2 trillion stimulus package, but you know what I mean? Half that's going to corporations. Again, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
$1 trillion to, rich people.
Yep.
So and then they managed to conjure $3.2 trillion to dump into the stock market last week while it was tanking, just to keep it from tanking. And it's still fucking tanked. So it's like, that's, they tell us all this shit. Oh, you can't like get rid of student debt or do healthcare, but they can conjure $5.5 trillion out of literally thin air and dump into Wall Street and CEOs' pockets. It's weird how that happens.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's, I guess
hilarious.
They found.
That's what I thought too. It's just like that pot. Did you see Joker yet?
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix, where he just starts laughing out of nowhere on the bus because that's how he deals with pain. Yeah, that's the type of hilarious it is. To be honest.
No, yeah, it's not funny, but I mean, it's just so typical for them.
Right.
They just all lie all the time. There's no one knows what's going on with anything ever.
We should get on. Are we gonna do conspiracy theories now? What do you think of the coronavirus? Yeah, made in a lab or bat guy?
No, I don't think it's from. It's a zoonotic disease, so it came from an animal.
Yeah, but I mean, so does all of it. They take that and weaponize it. You know what I mean? Like, isn't anthrax coming from an animal too, or is that like?
I think so, but yeah.
And they don't just conjure diseases. They like we make bioweapons and stockpile.
I really hope not.
It's almost too perfect to be an accident. You know what I mean? Like everything about it is just so. Like how it doesn't really affect younger people. I mean, it does, but not as much. As you go up,
it's like
increase.
It's like a designer disease.
Yeah, and it's like not the type that's gonna like spread. Like if you released it, it's not gonna wipe out half the population. You couldn't weaponize Ebola airborne and release it because it would just wipe out society. But this one's just deadly enough and hard to control because of how long you have it before you know you have it, and contagious. So there's no way to track it, like who contaminated who. So it's just enough of a society disrupting virus. It's scary enough to kill, but it's impossible to track. So no one knows how you even get a handle on it, which is why their solution is everyone go inside for a while. Because they have no idea how to get their hands on it. It's pretty wild.
It's amazing. It's why I say it's like a designer disease is because it's like it targets a certain group, like the elderly and like
Sick.
I mean the quote unquote weak, saying like pre-underlying conditions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like like people who aren't of the utmost fitness standards.
Right.
We'll see if like what underlying like all the we'll see that in the coming weeks, I think.
Right.
But I think the fact that it's so spreadable is because it fools people, because people don't even have symptoms for a couple weeks. You can carry it for a few days.
Right.
You can have it and not even know it.
And never know it. Like you might have the coronavirus and not ever get sick. That's what makes me think there's no way that's like if you have a virus and you don't get sick, but you could transmit it to 9 different people. I mean, I don't understand. I understand. I have no idea about viruses, but I understand like eating a bat that fucking landed on a pig is hard. I mean, I don't understand how you could create something like that so quickly that spreads so untraceable, wipes out old people and weak people. You know what I mean? Like, and that's gonna do this much damage to society because like this isn't gonna be, even if we don't go get hit with this for like in the health crisis sense. I mean, we are, but the big fallout's the economic fallout. Like this is gonna cause at the best case scenario, this becomes a recession. Most likely it's going to turn into a Great Depression type situation. If we're in this for months, it's not going to be possible to recover within a year, 2 years, 3 years. It's going to wreck things for a while.
What people should be doing right now is forming unions.
Yeah.
You go back to work.
Right.
And for when they say okay to go, and the workers say, well,
hold on, yeah,
work something out here because
this is a general strike, forced general strike. Yeah, I mean,
right,
this is the time to mobilize, but you can't mobilize in person. I mean, but there's apps like Zoom that people. I mean, it sucks. It's hard to mobilize when everything is so polarized. Like this is the worst possible time for something like this to happen.
It's the stupidest time to live in because everybody is just so divided. It's like you're never going to have anybody agree on anything 75%.
Or even it's 50-50, but it's to the point where it's too perfect to split. Like elections shouldn't. It's almost a mathematical impossibility for so many elections to come down to so close numbers, like 51-49. One way or the other. I mean, that's unless you're controlling the variables, which they do, which is, the Republicans control it with having such an ideology that appeals to a certain demographic of people, and the Democrats control it with having so much media influence. You know what I mean? That's how it it's like gerrymandering ideology. Democrats are like just beat the populace over the head with CNN, MSNBC, and everyone that was named in the WikiLeaks emails that came out. You know what I mean? And that no one paid attention to them because it was the media. It was like the WikiLeaks came out and it was like Wolf Blitzer having dinner with John Podesta and John Podesta calling the dude from Politico and saying, I want you to write this. And they're, you know what I mean? It's like, but all those guys in the media, when that got leaked, they were like, don't look at anything in the WikiLeaks. The Russia leaked it. So that was the entire cover for it. So no one ever knew how much influence the DNC had on the media. And I think people this election noticed more because it was so obvious of how much everything was designed to stop Sanders in the primaries. Like everything. Run a bunch of people, split up the vote, barrage the media, try and prop up Biden. There's another slide I put in there. It's just like, dude, Biden doesn't even know he's running for president. That guy is fucking the Manchurian candidate times 1,000. They just prop him up in front of a fucking camera, get him to mumble 14 sentences, put him in a recliner, and then they just put it on the media. It's like, you want to get mad at people for falling for that, but it's horrifying that they do that because it's so obvious. Like, how many people do you know doesn't think Joe Biden has dementia? He clearly has dementia. There's not even like, and if you talk about it in the media or anybody brings it up, you have the Twitter trolls and the people that the AstroTurf Twitter accounts for the media that bring you down. And it's like, no intelligent human being doesn't think Joe Biden has dementia by looking at him on camera for more than 10 seconds.
Yeah. I saw him on that interview on CNN yesterday, and he was in his living room just like propped up, like, coughing into his hand. He's just
fucking
like
eye twitching. He's just like, every time he gets lost, he has that one phrase. He goes back to, I've said enough. Anyway, we'll get, you know what I mean? Like, that's clearly something that he was conditioned by his campaign people to say, listen, when you do that thing where you veer off, Joe, and you catch yourself, just be like, I talked too long or whatever, because he does it every single time. And he never did that. 10 years ago, that he was sharp and coherent. He was a good politician. He knew how to talk. He's not all there.
He's old.
He's old, but there's clear. So is Sanders. But Sanders is sharp as a whip. Like, when you ask him questions, he's not like wandering in out of fucking Wally World. You know what I mean? The whole time. It's like, but it's like they want to put. I don't understand why they want to put Biden against Trump in the general. You know what I mean? It's like, I understand the rich people that aren't going to lose either way. It's like, you know what I mean? Trump gets in, the stock market booms again because he tells all his supporters that it's a booming economy. If I believe it, because the stock market's high, even though none of them are saving money in that booming economy. But and the Democrats don't care if Trump wins. He's the best distraction they've ever had. That dude just goes up and says dumb shit after dumb shit. And they're just like, he's a monster. We need to stop him. And then they roll out fucking a guy that doesn't even know he's running for president. And then they'll be like, oh, well, he lost because everyone was mad Sanders lost and they didn't show up to vote. And they'll just blame Russia and blame Bernie Bros. It's just like, it's frustrating. It's so frustrating to watch. But yeah, people like us have been talking about how corrupt the media is and all that is for a while. But now everyone sees it. And that's why it's scary to watch. Society is just totally like, I mean, and it's good that institutions like the media, people have lost total faith in, because to have total faith in institutions like that is just dangerous, because, you know what I mean? They're one part marketing, one part crafting ideology. That's what their function is. That's the stuff Noam Chomsky talked about and everything he ever did. Louis Althusser. That's, you know what I mean? That's what the Catholic Church did to Europe all through the Dark Ages. It's the same thing. They just switched apparatuses. One died, the other one came up, and that's how a ruling class disseminates information. It's never not been like that. Every time you have an empire, the control of information is the flow of information is controlled by some sort of apparatus.
That's in the early fucking stages.
Yeah,
man.
We haven't even got hit yet.
It has just hit this hemisphere.
Like barely too. Like,
yeah, it's just
like, are we gonna be to work in April 7th? I'm like, we haven't even got fucking hit yet. Are you crazy? It's gonna hit like a tidal wave. it's whatever. That's why I'm not even like I'm at the gas station. I was like, I had like the gloves on, touched the thing. Fucking at the grocery store, fucking ducking around people. Like I haven't gone to my parents' house. Like people need to take this social distancing way more.
Well, that's the thing.
Serious.
That's why it's going to get worse, because people are just being morons about it.
Right.
You know. But then there's a lot of people doing good things. So.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, no one's perfect. There. I mean, I get. It's not like you can't get on everybody for leaving the house and going to visit people. Like,
Right.
we're not in prison. But the whole people like that are like, you can't lock us down if it comes to that. We have freedom. It's like, listen, asshole, you're gonna get fucking people killed just by breathing on them. If you want to pull out that freedom card, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is America.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
It's like,
you all want to talk. The people that are saying that are like, oh, we're the greatest country in the world. It's like, not if you just are too lazy to fucking not spread your shitty germs all over old people, and you're just you can't be the guy that says we're the greatest country in the world if you can't just engage in a social contract where we don't fucking wipe out the weak and old, you know?
Right. And it's just crazy how he's just like always, willing to trade lives. He's always, with Puerto Rico and this and, the Ukraine.
Oh,
that money, people died in the Ukraine because they didn't get that money.
Right. Yeah.
The Russians, that money was for javelins. Javelins kill tanks.
Right.
Tanks kill people. People died because they didn't get that money.
Yeah.
And that's,
they're all sociopaths. To get that high in office, you have to be detached. Even like to get that far in government. I mean, he just kind of can't. He didn't work his way up the chain. He just called everyone sweaty and ugly and beat the Republicans. That's how fucking stupid the Republican people that he ran against were. He just like. He called Cruz weird looking. He called Marcos sweat. You know what I mean? He literally just called them all names and beat them all. But other than that, to get your way to the top, you need to be somewhat sociopathic. Even the ones I like, they're not. You can't be a normal human being and vote for some of the military budgets, knowing it's just going to kill a ton of people for oil supremacy. It's like
there's no reason. It's like you don't even. It's like someone like back in the day said like, we're gonna need like, let's just make it like a fucking ridiculous amount of money that we're gonna need for the military, and that'll just be like the new normal. So we'll just get like every budget, we'll just have like a fucking fuck ton of money that we don't even fucking need for fucking the military. And like, dude, like it's insane, dude. The military's using, like, I remember using fucking mortar rounds from the Vietnam era.
Right.
It's like, why do we even still have it? It's like, they should have gone used up, back in like 80s, the latest.
You were saying guns were falling apart. For everyone who doesn't know, Jay served in Iraq. He's a veteran, and everybody thank him for his service. Yeah, you did a year in Iraq, and I remember you were telling me while you were over, the guns were just like falling apart because they were just made by the cheapest bidder. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, yeah,
absolutely insane to me.
Oh, the military, they waste so much money. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's
it's like, spend it on.
Huh?
No one even knows what they spend it all on.
Oh, it's like that part on Independence Day where he's like, you think they pay $20,000 for a toilet seat?
Yeah, $50,000 for a hammer. Yes. Yeah.
That shit's definitely going on.
Right. I think a lot of it goes. I think most of that defense budget at this point goes towards the national security state. Like, you're sending it to the CIA, and they're sending it to companies like Google and Facebook. You know what I mean? So they can work in data mine and just use their servers to collect data. You know what I mean? So like, I think there's a lot of the budget's paying other like private contractors, companies that that are creating web cloud services like Jeff Bezos. They paid Jeff Bezos like $500 million to build a cloud service. The CIA. It's like, why is the CIA giving Jeff Bezos $500 million? Remember I shared that article to you, the one in the Nation.
Yeah, people have come out and that work for Amazon, and they go through people's conversations and that Alexa thing's picking up your conversations all the time.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. They're like giving away for free. It's like, no shit, they're giving away for free. You're just throwing a bugging system into your house on top of every other bugging system you have at that point. But do you remember the article I shared on Facebook, and then I went back and looked, and it was erased like 3 months later? It was like that article doesn't exist anymore. The one about how Jeff Bezos got paid $500 million by the CIA. Like, he legitimately did. It was in like a legitimate. The Nation's not like InfoWars. It's a pretty reputable site. And then that fucking article just disappeared. And it's just bananas. That's fucking bananas.
It's crazy how they could just scrub the internet from something.
Yeah. They can do anything they want.
Yeah, they rule the ruling class, man. They literally rule everything.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Yeah, here's my thing with it though. That's just the way it's always going to be. You know what I mean? There's a certain point where thinking revolutionary, like how you need to like change things and overthrow systems, you have to be realistic. It's never going to happen. You're always going to have powerful, corrupt people, but you need to like at least make it more. You need to at least keep the money flowing to more people, or else you just put the hands in 100 people who have all their money in this imaginary fucking system. You blow a bubble up to 29,000 on the fucking Dow Jones, and all it takes is a week, and that thing just fucking collapses, and they're ready to.
Oh my God!
They're ready to sacrifice everybody to save it. Russia. The idea that the CIA, the most powerful spy institution on the universe, let Russia somehow manipulate people on Facebook with Jesus memes saying Hillary Clinton doesn't vote. You know what I mean? Like,
that's assuming the CIA knows what they're doing,
They know more. That's the thing. They're another ones they play dumb. Like, oh, well, we don't know what's going on. They have fucking AI systems that know everything you're going to do before you fucking do it. Even if they don't know, their computers know.
Yeah, they don't look at the computers. There's a bunch of dudes sitting around drinking coffee, scratching their balls.
Skynet at this point. Yeah, you don't even need a military at this point. You just need 10,000 CIA geeks sitting in a fucking office building looking at computer screens. Like, know everything that's going to happen before it happens. It's like spy satellites.
Oh, man.
Surveillance. But.
Like, even with like the Nest, like the doorbells, the cameras. Like,
everything.
It's like, even with those, it's like, I feel like crime's probably gone down.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like everything's on camera now. Like, imagine us growing up, like the stupid shit we used to do. Like,
yes,
all of that shit would have been on camera.
Right. Which brings me to I think our final topic, which I teased a little bit, was shit in Chad LeBree's toolbox.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know. Let's just for the record, this wasn't an adult. We were like in 7th or 8th grade. We found our friend's treehouse in the woods, and Jay took a shit in his toolbox. But that's the thing. We'd have video evidence of that.
What was the thing? Like, he stole wood or something like I forget why.
Yeah, he stole like 2x4s from our treehouse, and he built some of his treehouse, and then we found it on accident. And then you went up in his treehouse and took a shit in his toolbox. And then we were like in school the next day in the cafeteria at Higgins. And fucking Chad was like, "You're never gonna believe what happened." My toolbox. Oh God. That's the thing. We had cell phones. We'd have a picture of that giant fucking turd just laid across the inside of that toolbox like an old smelly wrench. That thing was like an old smelly lumpy wrench.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, if like I wouldn't have done that if they were like, because I knew you guys would have done that.
You would have done it. Yeah, you would have done it. You would have shit a bigger shit on purpose.
No.
You wouldn't even have pinched it. You would have just fucking let that thing fly. All over the.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I think that's a good spot to end the video at least. So I'm I'm going to end it right now. All right, Sega, but thank you for coming to my podcast when we talked about very serious issues, like masturbation and shitting in toolboxes, and that's the end of the show.